Good morning and welcome to the Jim-Ree African American Museum on this beautiful day in June, celebrating the national and state holiday, Juneteenth. Welcome, Mr. Leslie Davis.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here and glad that you all decided to have me on this program on this auspicious occasion.
Thank you. You're a musician and you've been a practicing musician since the 70s.
That's correct.
All right. So raised in this rural community in Elberton, where did your interest in music come from?
Well, I think my interest in music really came from television, the Motown experience.
Wow.
Yes, they used to have a program that came on at least once a year. And you had the Temptations, you had all the Motown people, and that's excited me. And I saw it the first time a lot of men playing piano. So I actually started playing piano first.
Okay.
Yeah, I started taking piano lessons when I was in elementary school. And then I saw some excellent saxophone players. And that really intrigued me. I would love to learn how to play the saxophone.
Wow.
So it was mainly television.
It's amazing that television has such a huge impact on people.
Yes, I agree, and especially because of Motown and the black experience that they brought to the networks that you just didn't have before, you know. And also it was other programs as well, Yes Sullivan, and they brought a lot of black talent as well. So yes, that encouraged me, excited me, and gave me a reason to want to be in the music. And also, my family, we used to have family devotion every night, and we would all sing. And it was all a cappella, of course. And we started singing and harmonizing, we would sing at least one song, before we went to bed, after our family devotion. And everybody in this house could sing a little bit.
Wow.
And we all harmonized and everything. And I also started singing. I started singing in the elementary as well.
You mentioned that you began piano lessons. Who was your piano teacher?
Miss Carissa Williams was my last piano teacher, and she was also the piano player for Banks Elementary School. She was the pianist for Banks Elementary, so she did a lot. And of course, by the time I got to 8th grade, I already, was playing a little bit, and we had music appreciation that was taught by Mr. McClendon, Mr. Charlie McClendon. He was also the choir director, and so of course we had a music appreciation that was a required course. It wasn't an elective. Everybody had to take music appreciation. And one day he asked in our class, did anybody play the piano? And I said, yes, I got it. So I got up and I played Ferris, Lord Jesus. That was the first song I played.
Wow.
And I was in 8th grade at that time.
So when did you join the band?
I started actually learning the fingering in 8th grade.
The fingers on the saxophone.
To learn my fingering, but the person that was in charge, I just learned the fingering, and that's all. I could play a little bit.
It wasn't Mr. McLendon.
No, it wasn't Mr. McLendon. It's another teacher that I won't call his name because he's deceased now anyway.
Oh,
but anyway,
okay.
The class just didn't progress like we thought it was. So I did not. After that happened, I did not start playing sax again until the 11th grade. And that's when Mr. McLendon had taken over the band, and that's when I started back playing the saxophone and learning, actually how to play. Right. So that's been the joy of the saxophone. Oh, it was very joyful. I mean, because I could only play mostly after marching season, because when marching season we didn't have any extra instruments because of the people that was already playing. So after marching season, they didn't participate. Some of them didn't participate in the concert band. So that gave me the opportunity to have a saxophone that was available. So
you had to share a saxophone with others.
Yes, until the end of my junior year, when I was getting ready to go to Elberton County, Mr. McLendon got Professor Halls to buy a extra saxophone just for me so I could have it for Elberton County High.
Okay.
And
wow. So you were sort of in a unique position as a junior and then on becoming a senior, because you sort of thought you would graduate from Blackwell Memorial High School.
Right.
But because of the mandated integrations of schools, you graduated from Elberton County High School.
That's correct.
What was that like?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that before, at the ending part of my junior year, Mr. Chittister, formerly we always call him Mr. C, came by Blackwell to see who was going to be be part of the Elberton County High Band. And after Mr. McLendon told him that I had started playing saxophone earlier in my junior year, that's when Mr. C said, well, he's not going to be able to make my band. If he hadn't been playing but just a little, by that time it would have been a year. That, in my mind, ended my thinking of being a part of the Elberton County High Band. But Mr. McLendon and Ulysses Smith, he was a fellow bandmate, but he had been playing his instrument all through high school, And they kept encouraging me to just, when they started having some summer practices for the Elberton County High Band, they said, Leslie, come, just go by and just sit or stand by the saxophone section and just listen to them. So after a while, I decided to go ahead on and do it. And one day when I didn't have a I didn't take my saxophone. And I just stood by the saxophone section and listened to him, and I said, I can play that. I can do that. And Mr. C
he allowed me to join the band
Wow.
without even auditioning.
Wow, determination. He saw something in you,
Yeah.
a spark, that spark.
Yes, I'm gonna sing this song,
Well,
but
you
evidently it
didn't
was.
try. You came to practice.
I came to practice.
You stood there, sat there,
Yep, and when
with no instrument.
but the next time that was the first time, but the second time I did take my instrument, and we started. I started playing with the Elberton House Band, and we had to go to Reinhardt College for before actually school began, and we did practices. Learning the marching steps and all of that stuff. But when we got, that was a week situation. We had to stay
For summer camp.
Summer camp, right, right. And at the beginning they told us that that Friday night they was going to have a talent show, and whoever win, and so we was all the blacks was in black guys was in the barracks together. And after I said, they're gonna have a talent show. We need to get into it. And I told the guys, I said, look, when a man loves a woman, I'm gonna play that solo, and we're gonna y'all just back me up, And we started practicing. We started practicing, and we practiced every night. Because after the regular camp meeting of the band, before we went to bed, we practiced when a man loves a woman. And that Friday night at the talent show, and we had already put our name in. We was going to be a part of it, and it ended up. We went in the talent show. Now, just make it short. We won the talent show, and not only that, after that happened, we started playing that same song at every pep rally.
You do realize that the spark that you had and your determination, along with your love of music, won Mr. Cheddar's heart, because I was in the marching band and the concert band for Elbert County High School, and he constantly talked about you, constantly.
Yes,
And so I got to know some of your accolades through him. He didn't want you in the band, but he grew to love you.
Well, that's I'm very glad to hear that, because I didn't know that. Indeed.
You were his star or the highlight. You were one of his highlights as a teacher.
He appointed me as being the Record of the Year.
Yeah, and so you were only there 1 year.
And I was only there 1 year.
That's right, you were a senior.
Yeah.
Wow. So you overcame quite a few hurdles to be a part of the Elbert County Blue Devil Marching Band.
Right. I did my best, and that's all. Anybody can do.
The love of music carried you.
Yes, I think it did. And after that, we went to Morris Brown. I spent 2.5 years there, and with the Marching Wolverines.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw them on TV. That at my junior year when they was at the Rose Bowl parade, and I said, I got to be a part of that band.
Wow, TV again. It's an
TV
amazing
again.
thing, isn't it?
TV again.
Yes.
Yes. But the only thing that I can say, I mean, the experiences, what was great. It was better than I thought it was going to be because I didn't want to go to Elberton County High. Had been at Blackford for all those years, and but after going there and being there, my experience was good, really.
Yeah.
Good, because it seems like musicians don't have the same attitude as general public does, for its race relations and stuff like that. Because that's just, I don't know. It just seems like even looking back over the years, most musicians work together real good, black and white. So
Yes. Yes.
that wasn't a big problem. And the only thing that I could say that was when I was at Elberton County and I started out playing fourth chair, and I ended up playing first chair. And I finally got first chair when I got the second chair. And the first time I challenged the first chair player, I lost.
Okay.
But the second time, I won.
All right.
And he tried to get it back, and he couldn't do it. And he was a brother of another color, I put it that way. And he could never take first chair back from me until one day I didn't come to band practice.
Oh, okay.
And he challenged me, and I wasn't there too. And that's
He got it back. Technicality.
Right.
Wow. I wish I had heard you play.
I wish you had too. I wish a lot of people in Elberton had heard me play, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But anyway, well, there's a lot of people in Elberton that did hear me play, and they even wonder why I don't play now.
Right.
And that's because life happened.
All right, well, let's go back just a little bit from present to back in the day. So you were at Morris Brown College, a Wolverine, and while there you also formed a band. Is that correct?
Well, I didn't form the band, but by me playing again, I worked my way up to first chair again. And I was playing first chair, and one of the guys that asked me to play, he was also a saxophone player, but he was playing fourth chair. But anyway, his brothers and cousins wanted to start a band, and he asked me, did I want to play in the band? And I said, yeah, and that's how that started.
Okay.
And we practiced because being in the marching band at Morris Brown, now you had to develop a practice. It was practice, because they was the number one band in the nation.
Right.
And they wanted to remain that way.
Right. We all grew up watching television and seeing Morris Brown. We all grew up with that knowledge.
Yes. And because we would sometimes be on the field until 12 and 1 o'clock at night. Practice.
I had a brother who also played saxophone.
Yeah.
He was a football player and got a scholarship to Morris Brown. He was injured, but because he played the saxophone, they offered him a scholarship. Do you know, my brother said, no way under the sun, because they got up at 6 playing in the band, and when they went to bed, they finished playing in the band so all day long. He said, that man crazy. But you did it. First year.
Right.
So it was hard. It wasn't an easy thing to do.
It was not. It was not. But I did it. I'm not the only one, of course. There's
Yes,
100 plus other people that did it as well, but that was it.
Now, what style of music did you play in the marching band, and then what style did you play with the independent band that you were a part of?
The marching band, we played the almost like the top 20s of because we even played Shaft when it was popular, and
so it wasn't the typical. Well, I know that in Elberton it was a military style of marching, and the music that was played was also that traditional style of music.
That's correct.
But Morris Brown was different.
We played the hits,
All
the
right.
rhythm and blues hits. Just like I say, we played. We did Shaft with Isaac Hayes.
Okay. Yeah.
Isaac Hayes came to Morris. We played at the Atlanta Stadium, and we did Shaft, and Isaac Hayes performed with the marching band.
Wow.
Sure. Never forget that.
Oh, I know you will not.
Yes.
Because he is still the man, and he's no longer with us.
He's no longer with us, but
Yeah,
his music was
yes,
great.
yes.
And the combo band, as I call it, because we played all of the top hits. We did all of the Kool in the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, whatever that was hot during that time. That's the style of music that we played as well, And but that was for the combo band,
Okay.
the one that I was asked to join, and those brothers was from a small town called Blakely, Georgia, and that's where they was from. And it was three brothers, that first cousin, because the lead guitar player, the bass guitar player, and the drummer was brothers, and the lead singer was that first cousin, and they had myself and John Dunn and Raymond Hammond. John Dunn played trumpet, Raymond Hammond played organ, and all of us are still in contact with each other, especially Raymond and myself, because we ended up being roommates at one time too. So we he and I really stay in contact with each other monthly, and sometimes twice a month.
All right. What happened with this combo band, and can you say if there were pitfalls to?
There were pitfalls. We broke up twice. The last time we stayed, we never did go back. But the first time we broke up, and I moved back here to Elberton, and I worked for a week trying to run a wire saw, and I was going home, met dirty every evening. Mama got so angry about having to clean my clothes. And that Thursday, that Thursday, they fired me. That was the best day of my life. They gave me my check.
So you went in on a Monday and you were fired by that Thursday?
That Thursday. And that Friday morning, the band manager, who never had been to Elberton before, was at my door at about 6 o'clock in the morning. My daddy was getting ready to go to work. And I heard him out there talking to somebody, and he said, "Well, he's in the house," and it was my band manager. I said, "Fred, what you doing here?" He said, "Leslie, we got to audition. We got to audition at the Silver Fox tonight. You coming?" I said, "Yes, sir." So I immediately packed my clothes, and I had my check, but and the bank wasn't open. That was early, so I went by my brother-in-law's house, and I asked him would he cash my check for me, and he did. So that was it.
You were gone.
I was gone. So we were the house band at Silver Fox for quite a few months. I mean, almost, for quite a time. I put it that way.
Now, what is the Silver Fox, or what was it?
Silver Fox was a nightclub.
Okay.
And it was, one of the top nightclubs, black-owned nightclubs in Atlanta at the time. And that's when I reckon you could say came professional, if you call it. It wasn't making a whole lot of money, but it was about the same thing I would have been making here at Shed. Right. So and I was only working 4 hours a night.
And stayed clean.
And stayed clean. and enjoying myself, so that wasn't a bad thing, I didn't think, and so and that's where we were picked up by a company called Taurus Production. And Taurus Production had their main office was in New York, and they started an office in Atlanta. And what they were doing, there was a booking agency that booked all the top people that had hits during that time. And they picked us up. They wanted us to become their opening act for the people that they had booked, like Earth, Wind and Fire, Kool and the Gang, Ohio Players, Dramatics, Mandrill, Isley Brothers, and all that, and many more. We became the opening act for those groups. And that was really
wow.
exciting.
So you really were at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Well, exactly. Your band had made it. So what happened?
We were told at Silver Fox, their house DJ told us, "Y'all, you guys at Pinnacle, y'all going to either make it now or you're not." And I think it was, attitudes and mismanagement and things of that sort just sort of took the band apart. And after a while, because we had shows that we had to that was already booked. We had to make those shows up because because of contracts, and it just fizzled apart, and it was it's management and attitudes, I think, that actually broke the band up for the final time.
If you could go back in time, is there anything that you would do differently with that band?
I think I did as much as I could at that time, because it's to think. No, I don't think I could, because it was had just got out of hand, and it just attitudes just you just can't change a person's mind, you know.
Right.
You can't change people's hearts or their mind. They got to either want it or not, and that's something that I don't think I could. No, just even thinking back on it, no, it wouldn't have happened.
Did any of your the members of the combo band, did any of them remain in professional music?
Yes, our organ player, he does it for for choirs and churches, and the trumpet player, he has a band that's in Athens, and the others I don't have any more contact with them.
And you also play?
Yes, I still play piano.
Okay, piano with the church.
Right.
Locally.
Locally, right.
Okay. Wow. So to be at the top and then have a great fall.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, but evidently that's life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you came back to Elberton.
Yes.
And eventually you became a business owner of a music store called Davisco.
That's correct.
Now, how did you come up with that name?
Well, I thought about it, and everything, a lot of the business was using Granite City, this or Granite City that, and I said, I just want to make mine personal. How can I make it personal? And I thought about using my last name and using the abbreviation of company. And I say, now, am I going to call it Davisco? And then I said, Davisco.
Yeah.
That'd be more catching. But I came up with that name by using my last name and abbreviating company after it.
What happened with that business? Were there pitfalls with that one?
Yeah, there were pitfalls, but the main thing that happened was people counterfeiting, and what is better known as bootlegging. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that came about, and these people didn't have a brick and mortar building. They didn't have and they could just buy one CD or cassette and re-record it and into 20 or 30 or how many
millions,
whatever they wanted, many they needed. And their overhead was almost nothing compared to mine. And they could undercut me for his prices. But a lot of, but the sound, the quality just wasn't there. But yet and still a lot of people just wanted the music. And what had happened, they had really created a market to where people if they didn't buy a quality product from me and kept buying that counterfeit product, they didn't know that my product sounded better because it was the original product.
Right.
But if you get used to a counterfeit sound, then your ear is going to follow. You don't have anything to compare with it.
Right.
So but there were some guys that could distinguish and they had these nice sound system. They was the only one that kept me in business until it, that wasn't enough people. It was too many people that was buying the counterfeit product, and I just couldn't compete with that.
Right. So piracy, I hear them talking about that today with not just music, but in the music movie industry as well. So
yeah, piracy is just
a huge problem.
very big problem.
Wow. So who would think that some of the pitfalls in your career are some of the same pitfalls that people are experiencing today?
Correct.
So thinking in that line, how is the music scene today different from the time period when you had a band?
It's mainly the difference is the different genre. You have more the hip hop, and see when our band was operating, it was just mostly rhythm and blues, and not the rap and the hip hop. Even though you're just a different genre of music, but I can't. And it's more digital than actually musicianship too, as well, in my opinion.
Well, when I listen to music today, a lot of times what I'm listening to is not a real band.
Right.
Like you say, it's digital, and I can't appreciate it because, of course, I appreciate artists who hire live musicians,
Right.
and utilize them because the quality, the sound, it's just so different than that digitized stuff.
Right. I agree. And that's just like I say. I enjoy some of the stuff that they have, but they're going back and sampling some of the old school music anyway. So
Right. They are. Enough of them have been sued
right.
when it's realized. So yeah, enough of them. All right. So here we are today on this beautiful day in June, celebrating Juneteenth. Now that we finally have a federal and state mandated holiday, recognize the freedom of all United States citizens. How does that make you feel?
The first thing I thought about when it's a situation that shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. Slavery should have never happened in the first place. So, but since it did happen, and it just makes you realize all of the things that our foreparents went through, and finally got to a position to where the government decided to free the slaves because I'm thinking this not because of anything that we did. They did it to save the Union. It's because the North and the South they want to save the Union. But that being said, I'm glad to have it, but yet and still, it makes me sad when I think about what it took and all of the sadness and all of the things that our foreparents had to go through. That was, mandated by the even government as well. And then all of a sudden, of course, we are free. And I'm glad that we celebrating it, but it's just sad that it had to be celebrated in the first place, because slavery should have never happened.
Certainly. And I will say amen to that one. All right. What advice would you give to a young musician today?
Do a lot of woodshedding. You know what I mean by woodshedding? You practice your instrument. You practice, and you learn your instrument, and you just, because that's one reason I didn't play a piano. I didn't stay with the piano as much, because I wanted to play what I wanted to play. And my mom was a Christian, very strict Christian, and she didn't want me to play anything in the house on that piano, but gospel music. Even when the contemporary gospel came out, and I just wanted to play it, she thought that was part of blues. No, but anyway, you know. But yeah, to practice their craft and to just stick with it and just do it. And parents, let them do it.
All right, now you practiced and you were at the top of the leaderboard, but your band did not survive. So thinking along those lines, what would you say to an uprising artist who is on the brink of success?
Still just keep in mind that the things will happen, but you just pray and ask God to help you overcome whatever obstacle that's in your way. And sometime life is just going to happen, just like it happened to me. I didn't plan it that way, but life just happened. But still, just keep on keeping on.
Life does happen. I think it has happened to all of us. Anybody who's a grown folk,
right?
Life has happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming today. Thank you so much.
And I thank you for having me here.
Now, there's one final question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you thought about this one, but I hear a book in you. I've been interviewing authors all day, and I hear a book in you. Your whole story sounds like just one wonderful book that I would love to read. Now, have you ever thought about that?
I thought about it, but I just hadn't put it into hadn't put it in motion. But I have thought about it, and but it's just something that I hadn't started on. But that's a good. I mean, I'm glad you given me maybe a good reason to do it. Yeah.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I really am.
Well, I need to get my daughters together and we started doing something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I've overlooked asking you some fan questions because you still have fans. What is your favorite color?
Purple and gold.
Royalty.
Royal purple and old gold.
All right. I know why you said that.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How many children do you have?
I have two daughters, and I have 6 grandkids.
Well, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone wanted to contact you, how would they go about doing that?
By phone or text. And I need to give my phone number out?
No, I wouldn't. But anyway, so you're not on Facebook or any social media?
I'm not on social media yet. I mean, at one time I was on social media, but I'm not right now. I'm not, but that's something that I'll probably get back into, being on social media. I'm just not that much I'm not good on
using technology.
technology. So I'm,
Well, if you can use a phone, you can use social media.
Yes,
that I can tell you.
Yeah.
If you can text message,
Mm-hmm.
you can use it.
Yeah. So that would be my next step. So thanks for giving me that accolade by saying that I have a book in me. Well, I reckon I better get that book out of me.
That's exactly right. And you do have fans, because I'm one of them. I grew up in that same band that you were talking about, Elberton
Right.
County High School Blue Devil Marching Band and the concert band. And,
Right.
and I heard a lot about you through the band director, so I've always admired you.
Well.
And I'm sure you have other people out there as well who would like to see more from you.
Right. I hope I do.
All right then. That sounds like a good idea. And thank you very much again.
And thank
We
you.
appreciate you coming here.
Thank you, and I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you.